Welcome back to Autumn Time Flowers. The last time we were together, Yuzu got a letter. Yuzu got a letter. Yuzu got a letter. Wonder who it's from. Let's find out. Together! A letter. Actually, a whole boatload of weird stuff happened last time. Like, we kind of understanding that maybe Narine isn't quite into the you know, the girls be loving on other girls and all that. And that's probably gonna be a major sticking point. But also, Ichigo seems just super duper attached to Yuzu now. And I just happen to think that's super duper adorable. And I love every single second of it. I cannot wait to see how this either becomes a complete disaster or it ends up fine. I guess it we'll soon find out. Not a cloud in the sky though. Nice bright autumn day. I gaze up at the cloudless expanse of blue. Compared to the summer skies, which seem to stretch up forever, the flat blue expanse of autumn feels somehow gentle and familiar. It's neither too high nor too low, but perfectly suspended in the middle. Autumn is also the perfect temperature. Spring is similar, but the fresh air brings with it the nagging insistence to start something new. That just ain't my style. I love the ripe air of autumn. I don't like thinking. Right now we're in the the musty, blustery, hot winds of summer over here. I am literally like Erica fanning myself fervently because it's so hot now. It's already like 90 degrees. Got the air conditioner going in the background, but this new microphone that I've been using has been pretty good about keeping that sound at bay. It's got a harsher cardioid pattern. So you probably can't hear it much over the music and me talking. But if you can, oh well, you've been here long enough. You know how my subpar, substandard garbage videos go. I've been staring up at the sky to try and clear my mind, but my incessant internal narrative has led me to thoughts of the letter from last night. The billet doux. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I've been really into period novels recently, so that old-fashioned term is the first that comes to mind. But really, it was what the kids call today a love letter. I'd received my fair share of them when I first started at the academy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is just something that happens to her a lot. I feel like when you are the kind of person she is, it just strikes me as very common. But they'd soon tapered off, perhaps because people misinterpreted my closeness with my best friend. Oh, okay, I get it. So people kind of thought maybe they're already a thing, so... In fact, I haven't had one in a while, however... What are you gonna do about this? Of course, the attention is flattering, but I reflexively shrink back from the sudden voice in my ear. Turning around, I find my best friend standing there blinking at me. Yeah, we doing ballet. Nice. Let's go. Gonna throw a ninja mask on her. She'd be like Scorpion or Sub-Zero. She would probably be Scorpion because of, you know, blonde hair. I don't know if you're gonna keep all of this inside a ninja mask, though. I don't know that either of these two could keep all of that inside of a ninja mask. Nettie hasn't changed out of her ballet clothes yet. She's still wearing her ballet slippers, which are designed for walking on your tiptoes, so it makes sense that I didn't hear her footsteps. She breaks off abruptly and stares intently at my face, as though she suddenly found something of immense importance there. Just looking out the window solemnly. Oh, damn. I know when you're lying. The music stopped at a perfect moment there, too. It was perfect. She's, I know you're lying to me. All right. This is like the Yuzu flow chart now. Has somebody asked you a question that hits too close to home? Yes. And then you go down and it's, make joke about your period. We've known each other since we were kids. I can't pull the wool over her eyes when it comes to this stuff. Oh damn, what did you do? Not that that's all that surprising. Miley Cyrus type of troublemaker?
ハロウィンパーティーでの出し物の件、それと個人での衣装がなかなかに凝っているやつでね。もう衣装の用意を始めているの？早すぎないかしら。去年のことを忘れたのかい？帽子、眼帯、衣装を凝らしたデザインと。
A pirate costume?
死ぬ思いだったのを知ってるじゃないか。それは。
It's not like Nettie to doubt people, but she's still looking at me with suspicion in her eyes. Just then, someone calls out to me from the door of the classroom. Saved by the nun! I'm out of here. What can I do? What can I do? Gotta go. Gonna slip out of this very uncomfortable personal situation. Silently voicing my gratitude to Sister Basquiat, I leave the classroom behind. However, Nettie's concern should have brought it home to me, but oh dear. Looking up, I see the teacher eyeing me sharply, a stick of chalk in her hand. Yo, I got this, don't worry. Hey, it's been a while. Nice of you to show up. How's it going? Got a thing for me? Is it that time of the month? Come on, Yuzu! I know you want to. You are dying to do it. Feeling as though I've just surfaced from a dream, I put on my usual flirty tone, but Hanabishi-kun's brow furrows as she points down at my hands. Oh no. Oh no! I guess my mind really had been elsewhere. My taco rice is now painted a deep red. I'm okay with this. Just dumping like everything on it. Dump the whole bottle on. No, I meant to do this. That's the best response I can manage. This girl is going through it. And now for my piece de resistance. When I managed to slice my finger in cooking club, I finally acknowledged that, just as Nettie had pointed out, I am definitely going through it. I may not be the best chef, but I've never messed up this badly before, or at least I've never repeated the same mistake twice. I really have been lost in my worries. Yeah, you think? I wouldn't usually get so worked up over a simple love letter. I've received and dealt with them before. However, my best friend's words only serve to compound my anxieties and take my mind places it never usually would have gone. Well, I mean, get the feeling that like she's rejecting these letters because obviously she just kind of wants it to be Neri, but man, it's kind of like maybe you just try the waters with someone else and see how it goes. I mean, Kind of like, I guess we're getting a lot of maybe having to face reality in this story. The desire to avoid facing up to my own reality is what has led my mind down these paths, to the idea of using her as a substitute. It would mean lying to myself and using her. I know that, and yet... Oh, jeez! You are literally dying! I'm brought back to my senses by a loud cry.
Ah, そうだな。指を切ってしまった。
Calm down, she's probably not gonna die from cutting her finger. But I did cut my finger on a can once. I opened a can and I somehow ended up cutting the side of my finger, and that shit would not stop bleeding for like an hour and a half. I applied like 18 million pounds of pressure to that shit for like 30 minutes, and I popped that thing off, and it still was just like, okay, it's bleeding as fresh as it was when I cut it. Am I dying? So maybe Ichigo has good enough reason to be worried in this situation.
深く切ったわけじゃない。舐めれば治るさ。
A little lick and it'll be all better? Ah! Oh my god! Yeah, Ichigo, girl, I'm gonna need... My mouth curves up in a smile as Ichigo-san raises her hand in a pick me, They're literally jumping up and down, waving her arms. I got it! I am so good at licking! A Jerry Lewis sketch. That is exactly what I was thinking about. The old Jerry Lewis suck 'em finger sketch. Who could forget that classic?
Jerry?
Jerry Lewis? Jerry Lewis. And they say that like localizers are they say that localizers are a bad thing, and when confronted with such a dumb, ridiculous thing that could come out of somebody's mouth, Jerry Lewis is how I will respond, because you could not have done a better job on that line.
もちろん、幾度も間抜けさ加減を指摘された自分がということだがね。
I is, in the sense that I'm constantly on show as the klutz. I am, of course. A metallic taste spreads across my tongue as I suck on my index finger. Rip Ichigo. She really wanted a shot there. It's incredibly bitter. You're worrying, yeah, like dog. It's you just cut your finger a little bit. It happens. Oh, good lord. Sandwiched between the Sasaki sisters, I find myself being dragged off to the nurse's office against my will. You know, like, I bled from my finger for like an hour and a half, but the one time I gashed my fucking wrist, I gashed my wrist open across the damn vein, and I was spurting blood, and even that did not bleed for 90 minutes. Now, of course, I did get to the hospital, but it took me like 10 minutes to get to the hospital because I had to get my mom to understand I'm bleeding and it might be to death. But even then, like, I applied a towel to that and it stopped bleeding in the car. Like, it was like literally like only bleeding for 5 or 6 minutes. But my finger bled for like an hour and a half. So somehow I guess I had cauterized the vein closed or something with the way I had held the towel. I just remember having to put that shit in iodine and then it having to be stitched up, and then I had to get a shot directly in the laceration. Hurt like a bitch. I thought my arm was just gonna fall off and die. It hurt so much. And then like getting it stitched up, that was a really wild diversion, wasn't it? After getting my finger patched up, I'm about to set off back to cooking club when... Yo, Jesus! You wanna... Taken aback by Ichigo's loud command, I end up going along with her. I hadn't intended to. After all, this is... What? Yo, what's happening? Yo! Is we cooking? Oh.
ことはわかるけどね。
Oh, look at her. She's like, I'm earning so many points right now.
落ち込んだら焼き芋ですよ。焼き
Baked potatoes, let's go. I do love some baked sweet potatoes.
火を使うことは了承を得てきていますです
We
よ。
got permission to start a fire to make our friend feel better. She indicates a nearby bucket filled with water. Internally noting that that wasn't what I meant, I gaze into the crackling fire.
燃える火を眺めるだけでも落ち着くか。
なぜか燃えている火を見てると穏やかな気持ちになりますよね。暖炉で火が燃えているだけの光景をずっと流している番
I've
組もあ
seen
るら
that
しいです
TV
よ。
station before. Yeah, that is an actual thing. They're like, I don't remember if it's like a fireplace just burn it, because I know they have that for like Christmas where you can just like turn a channel on and it's like a fireplace. But I think that I seem to remember just like looking at fire, a channel that was just fire, not really specifically a fireplace. Ichigo-kun seems to think that this is a good idea, but also asks if people actually watch it.
視聴率はなかなか高いらしいです。音がなくて寂しいだとか、なんとなくテレビをつけていたい人には
I am the
受ける
kind
の
of
かもです
person
ね。
that doesn't like silence all that much, so I usually always have some kind of sound going on in my place too, so yeah. I mean, this is back in the day when we used to like turn on the weather channel. Like when there was nothing you wanted to watch, you just turned on the weather channel because it had some smooth, jazzy jams that you could listen to. And then like once an hour, some guy would come on and tell you weather in Belize for like 5 minutes. Ringo-kun nods sagely as she informs
それ
us.
と
Also, I'm sorry for the tangents. I feel like I'm tangenting a little more
ずっと眺めてしまう気持ちがわかる
this time around than maybe I should. I'll try and pull back a little bit. My dad sometimes watched travel shows, but as a kid, I didn't get what was so interesting about them. The reporter would hop on a train, stare at scenery, walk around historic sites, and rave about the hotel foods. I wondered why he watched such boring programs when he didn't even plan on visiting those places himself.
遠い先を探しているんだな。
Yeah, I think that's absolutely it. Some people just kind of... It is not easy to just, you know, scrounge up money together and go on a vacation somewhere. At least I know that's not something I can do. So sometimes you just need an escape. Maybe you want to play video games, you know, where where you read about girls falling in love at a very upper crust school. Maybe that's your escape from reality. Maybe you watch idiots read visual novels on the internet. Why would you do that? Now that I'm older, I understand. You imagine yourself jetting off on a vacation precisely because you're too busy to actually do it. Staring into the flame, I can almost see my father's kindly face in the flames.
いや、死んでるわけでもないってのに。
I would hope not.
ゆずりは先輩、
感傷的な気分になって癒された。この上、焼き芋まで食べられるんだ。誘ってくれて嬉しいよ。
She puts a hand on her reddening cheek. As I watch her affectionately, Ringo-kun gets to her feet, saying she has something else for us.
これ以上はもらいすぎだ。遠慮するよ。
Wait, is the envelope's not from Ichigo, right? That can't be it. Not yet. No. I mean, we know this is happening, but like, I feel like if it... You really don't need to do anything else for me. I'll pass.
せっかく入れてきたので飲んでほしいですよ。
Picking up a pot she left on the lawn, she pours me a cup of the steaming liquid. Even from this distance, I can smell the rich, astringent aroma.
どうぞ。お芋にはお茶かと思いましたが、八代先輩はコーヒー糖ですものね。
ああ、ありがとう。
Although my love for coffee is all an act, I solemnly accept the cup from her and take a drink.
苦いな。
苦いのが美味しいのではないのですか。たくさんミル回したんだけどな。
With my eyes still on the flames, I tell her she probably went a bit overboard and ground the beans too
細
fine.
引きって何ですか？
粗挽きというのは聞いたことがあるだろう。あれは字のごとく粗くひいた豆のこと。細引きは細かくなるまでひいた豆のことだよ。
The twins nod their understanding.
粗挽きはドリップした時抽出されにくいのですっきりした味で酸味が少ない。細引きは抽出するので濃く酸味が強い。
砕きすぎたから濃くなりすぎてしまったのですね。
それとおそらく火にかけすぎたんだな。煮詰めてしまっている。
そう。
For somebody that doesn't like coffee, she certainly has a good wealth of knowledge about it, which I guess is kind of saying something to the act that I feel she is putting on. Like, you are committed to the bit. Seeing her dejected look, I hurriedly waved my hand to dismiss what I just
い
said.
や、別段悪いことじゃない。これから甘いものをいただくんだ。多少苦い方がありがたみが湧くってものだろ。
そうだよリンゴ。はい、できましたよ。暑いですから下やけどしないようにしてくださいね。
Aww. She passes me an already peeled sweet potato, and the sweet, mellow scent brings a smile to my face. I don't even like sweet potatoes much, but man, that do be looking real good. After blowing on it to cool it, I take a big bite.
こいつはうまい。
でしょ？おばあちゃん直伝ですから。
The starchy sweetness fills my mouth as the distinctive, slightly charged scent of baked potato tickles my nostrils. I take another bite, and another.
ね、私が言った通りでしょ、リンゴ。脱帽ですよ、いつもね。
I doff my cap to you, sir.
何が言った通りだって？
焼き芋は幸せの味。食べたらゆずりは先輩が笑ってくれるってい
You
ちご姉が言ったのですよ。
freaking adorable, sweet, caring, kind, loving little fruit shits. I love you to death.
姉は常に正しいのです。
I can't help but smile back as Ichigo-kun puffs her chest out proudly. Still savoring the satisfying sweetness atop my tongue, I take a sip of coffee.
思った通りだ。なかなかに合うよ。
それは良かったですよ。こっちも焼けたみたい。私たちも食べよう。
Watching her split the freshly baked potato and pass the bigger half to her sister, it strikes me that she really is the older one. For a while, the three of us eat together in silence, savoring the joy of good food.
メリーだけじゃない。彼女たちまで心配させていたんだ。
Aww. They're such good friends. I love them so much. I hadn't realized it, but my classmates had been concerned too.
ゆずりは先輩、バターを塗ると一味違いますよ。
ありがとう。いちごくん、りんごくん。
別に心配とか。
Worried or nothing?
もしかして進路のこととかですか？リンゴ。
It seems like they think that's the area my concerns are centered around. Top of a high school student's list of worries is usually their studies, although love is probably a close second.
そうだ。担任教諭に進学のことで話をされてね。まだ1年以上あるが。
I'm a
少
very
しナー
good
バスになっ
liar.
てしまったよ。
そうなのですか？
My own vanity, my ego, prevents me from telling the truth. I want to preserve myself in their eyes. I don't want to destroy the image they have of me. Aha! Man, this girl's... Wow. She has a very complex. Ringo-kun holds a piece of buttered potato up to my mouth. Despite feeling self-conscious, I open my lips to take it.
少し気恥ずかしいな。
She's staring at me with big, glittering eyes, so pretty and earnest I could melt in them.
八代先輩、私の好きな本の中で道を悩む和コードにこう説いた言葉があります。そんなに偉くなる必要はない。週に一度好きなものが食べられるくらい稼げればそれでいいんだと、私としてもそう思います。
She's a simple and pure kind of girl. I like that. She says this with the utmost sincerity, and I find myself reassured to the point that I'm able to nod along. I'm genuinely grateful for their attempts to encourage me.
本当に大切なものは目に見えない。
Oh, also very, very good.
知ってる、星の王子様ですよね。
I didn't know it from The Little Prince, but that is a very, 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 like, that's a very, very wise quote.
見えないものは佐々木くんたちの気持ちだ。だが、だからといって見えているものを適当に扱っていいはずがない。
I lean over and take a bite from the potato Ringo-kun is holding. Watching me suck the soft potato into my mouth, she suddenly flushes hotly. Uh-oh. It's okay, Ringo. It's fine. These feelings are natural. Just go with it.
これは
Aww.
見えている友情の証。
Sensing something from my expression, the twins exchange a look amongst themselves. Oh. They both break out into bright peals of laughter.
ありがとう。僕はいい後輩を持った。
You absolutely do. Before I know it, the dregs that have been pulling within me have been washed away. My heart feels like the boundless blue autumn sky, scrubbed clean of any lingering clouds.
前を向き、答えを出そう。
Uh-huh. Having come to this decision, I drain the last of the bitter yet mild coffee. Maybe it's because I've made up my mind. I take a big stretch and look up at the autumn sky. Absent-mindedly, I watch the rows of cirrocumulus clouds illuminated by the westerly sun. This is the first time I've been able to look up at the sky with any sense of peace since receiving that love letter. She joins me as I'm staring at the slow parade of crimson clouds, and I invite her to watch with me. Okay, she answers, standing and looking up beside me. I turn from the sky and instead find myself entranced by her celadon eyes, tinged with the faint madder gleam from the sun's reflection. Like me, she's stiff from the long meeting. She stretches, then turns to face me.
会議、ずいぶん長くかかってしまったわね。もうこんなに日が落ちている。
秋の日は鶴瓶落としというからね。ついこの間までは暑さでへばっていたというのに、季節が巡るのは早い。
ええ、もうハロウィンパーティーだもの。だいぶ話も定まったし、あとは用意するだけね。
Once everything is decided, it'll be smooth sailing. All that's left is to put our plans into action. What's gonna happen? What mystery is gonna happen to keep this damn Halloween party from happening, and then we've got to do something? What's the mystery? Like, what's gonna go missing? What mystery of St. Angraecum is going to rear its ugly head? Is it too early for that? Do we save those for chapters 3 and 4?
定まったからか。
何？
I'm so relaxed from watching the clouds that I accidentally voice my thoughts aloud. I tell her that I'm talking about the performance for the party.
用意する手はずは大方済んだし、あとは個人個人の問題だな。
年はどんな衣装を用意するつもりなの？
そうだな。僕だけ言うのもアンフェアだ。
Yeah, what are you doing? She opens her mouth to answer, but then stops and puts a finger on her pink lips like something's just occurred to her.
そうね。ただ教えるのじゃつまらないから。ゆずりは当ててみて。
She flashes an impish smile. It's very distracting, but I manage to keep my mind on guessing.
そうだな。ネリーなら
God, that's just so on the nose. It feels like, given her look, yeah, ghostly Victorian lady just kind of strikes me as a very Nerine thing. She stares at me, her eyes wide.
驚いた。ゆずりはあなた
Got it in one!
持っているの？
そんな能力があればベガスにでも行って人儲けしているよ。僕がしたのはただの推理さ。
I know that my longtime friend isn't particularly good at sewing, so she probably couldn't make anything requiring elaborate needlework, which means...
既存の衣装を使ったものにするに違いない。
And she's just got a bunch of Victorian dresses hanging around. To be a ghost, all you need to do is rip up a dress, splatter it with blood, paint your face, and you're golden.
ねえ、なんで外国の王妃の幽霊をするって分かったの？
Yeah, it's very specific.
ネリーの顔つきで和風の幽霊は似合わないだろう。それと王妃なのはドレスに説得力を持たせるためさ。
Brilliant deduction.
ドレスなのも
You
分かってる
even know I'm wearing a nice dress? How could you have ever figured this out?
だからそんな目で見ないでくれよ。様式美ってだけさ。外国の幽霊
It's more of like a zombie
ジーンズ
thing.
にパーカーじゃ
She ain't wrong there.
ならないからね。
And she's not a fan. God damn it, game. And she's not a fan of zombies, so that narrowed it down even further, I tell her.
そう。そうやって聞くと確かにそれしかないってわかるわね。
幽霊王妃か。きっと綺麗だろうな。ハロウィンパーティーが楽しみだよ。
褒めても何も出ないわよ。はい。
She hands me a candy, which I gratefully accept.
それでゆずりははどんな衣装にするの？
ベタな
Yo, Dracula! Holy
今回
shit!
ドラキュラだ。
That's so on the nose that it would fit with her. Just like, you just get vampire from her look. Yeah. I feel that. Oh, you can probably reuse some of that. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine like if you're a fancy pirate, that's gonna translate pretty well to, that'll translate pretty well to Dracula.
ブラド3世ね。
Vlad the
ゆずりは似合い
Impaler.
そうだわ。
She puts her hands together to form a square and holds it to her eye, looking through it as though to give her the view of me in an outfit.
確か
The real-life inspiration for Dracula. I don't have much interest in horror literature, but I have naturally absorbed some knowledge of it through being around Nettie. I might have swatted up on it a little bit to impress her, though.
そうね。やっぱりドラキュラの衣装ならあの生地は映えるかも。
Then, before I even have time to ask what she's talking about,
行きましょう。
she takes a hold of my arm and drags me off with her. She's clearly gotten some crazy scheme in mind. The room's distinctive smell is ever present. Oh yeah, we're in the crafts room. Neri has brought me to the textiles room on the second floor of the dormitories. There isn't much coming and going from this room, so it probably doesn't get that much ventilation. The air is slightly stale and cool against my skin.
あまり良い思い出がある場所ではないんだよな。
I recall being shut up in here and working on my pirate costume, scared out of my wits by stories I'd heard from the older students of the haunted textiles room.
ねえ、この生地を見て。これマントに合いそうじゃない？
She pulls some velvet from a shelf and shows it to me with delight.
ああ、 確かに良さそうだ。
でしょ。やっぱりドラキュラなら。
Yeah, you gotta have a cape. Gotta have a cape to be Dracula. You gotta shoot fireballs from it too, at varying heights to confuse your opponent. She's probably absorbed in the costume right now. With one ear still on Neri's chatter, I look over at the mannequins standing in the room. I ain't afraid of no ghost stories!
さすがに夜の作業中はいい気分はしなかったな。
何？
いや、なぜ被服室なのに鏡が置いてないのかってね。
There's no mirror in a textiles room? Why would there not be a mirror here? Wouldn't it make more sense to provide a big mirror first before providing mannequins for fitting and measuring? Neri puts the fabric down and nods, looking over at the mannequins dyed blood red in the setting sun.
鏡。そうね。私も疑問に思ったわ。
だろう？
A twisted smile contorts her features as she stares at the mannequins.
ねえ、知ってる？ある時期にモーテルで自殺者が急増したって。
That is a interesting change of subject.
急な話題転換だな。
God damn it. This game, every time I say something, it says it right after. Pretty soon, visual novels are going to be smart enough to read themselves, and then I'm completely out of a shtick. Wait, I mean, that's probably something. I mean, there's a bunch of people that just set these things on auto and then record it and upload it, right? And it probably sounds a hell of a lot less stupid than the garbage you get with me sitting over here doing my blah, 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 blah bullshit over it. It's related, she tells me. She gazes at the silent mannequins as she continues.
急激な増加をした自殺者にどうしてだろうってとある機関が調査したそう。
Organization, you say?
するとその当時大人気だった備え付けの
Was it
あるもののせいだと
a
分かったの。
mirror?
話の流れからすると
God damn it.
ええ、鏡張りの部屋に一人というのは精神的に耐えられないそうなの。だ
被服室には置いていない？まあ、根を詰めて一人で作業しているとき。
I imagine it. Sitting there in the dark, when all of a sudden you sense someone behind you and turn around only to find...
鏡の中に自分以外の何者かが見えたら絶叫してしまうだろうね。
Yeah, that'd probably be a little messed up.
自分が少しだけ変わって見えるというのも嫌ね。真顔で見つめているのに鏡の中の自分は笑っているとか。
I mean, I've definitely freaked myself out in my own room with shadows before. Like, I remember one time when I got a new PC, the very first night with it, like it had lights that kind of shone through the fans a little bit more, and it made a couple of things look way bigger and distorted in my room. So when I woke up at like 3 in the morning, I thought, oh my God, there's someone in my room, and I almost screamed. That's my phone ringing. Check that out. Stop! The mere thought, the reason that like that phone sounded different than my usual one is because that is my work phone that people call and I mostly ignore sometimes, but yeah. If my actual ringtone from my actual phone is Gold Chain Punk by Soul Glow. Stop! The mere thought is giving me shivers. If I'm being honest, I can't really handle scary stories. Anything billed as a true story is a hard nope. If it's something I can imagine happening to me, I'll end up never checking my reflection again.
ゆずりはは鏡で怖い話を何か知らないの？
僕が知っているのはベタなやつだけさ。鏡に向かって「お前は誰だ?」というやつとかね。
聞いたことがあるわ。鏡に向かって話しかけたりするのよね。
細かくは知らないが、そんな感じの話だったな。
I rack my brains trying to stir up some faint recollection of a story about human experimentation. Then my eyes land on the blood-red mannequins again, and a cold chill creeps up my spine. I paste on my cynical smile and attempt to change the subject.
それはそうと知っているかいネリー。化け猫がアンドンの油を舐めるって描写があるだろう。あれは
Yeah,
好きだからじゃない。
I've heard about that one all the time.
当時は安い魚油を使っていたからの描写なんだよ。
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's a thing that I had never heard of. So I decided to give a very sarcastic reaction to it.
当時の食生活は野菜が主だったからね。その残りを餌として与えられる猫も魚、タンパク質に飢えていたんだろう。そうだ、魚といえば川だが、川にも貝板が多いね。川の貝といえば
I've managed to shift the gears of the conversation ever so slightly. I'm loath to stay on the topic of proper ghost stories in a place that has such rumors associated with it. Then,
川の貝ね。
river monsters!
そうだ、川といったら
Yeah,
吸
vampires
血
can't
鬼は
cross
川を
water.
渡れないという伝承もあったね。
ええ、ブラド賛成。
She interrupts herself with a cry of, "Oh, the cape!" And we're back to the original topic. Success!
裏地が赤のビロード生地なんだけど、表は黒地なの。これってマントにするのにぴっ
Yeah,
た
it's
り
as
じゃない？
stereotypical and as noticeable as Dracula as you could get.
確かに。これなら手直しして
I'd probably go with like a
マントにするのもだいぶ
dark
楽ができそうだ。
purple with a red inside myself, but I am just also partial to the color purple, which is something that I've already mentioned. I take the velvet fabric from her and enjoy its smooth, pleasant feel under my fingertips.
そうでしょ？
Looks like I've managed to wrest the conversation from ghost stories right back to costumes again. Nettie takes the fabric and holds it up against me. Her hand moves along my shoulder as she takes a rough measurement by eye, then accidentally brushes over my breasts.
どうしたの？
Nothing!
いや、なんでもないよ。生地は十分かな。マントならせめて膝くらいまでは欲しいからね。
そうね。少し見てみましょう。
The scent of her perfume tickles my nostrils, and the sensation of her hands moving over my body makes me feel slightly awkward.
今が夕暮れ時でよかった。
The evening light means she won't be able to see how red I am. However,
ゆずりは？
she must have noticed something's off as she gazes up at me, her celadon eyes quizzical. I wonder just how the heck I'm going to explain away my scarlet cheeks. Oh, she knows!
どうしたんだいネリー。
以前もこんなことがあったなって思い出したの。あの時はこの生地がタオルで。
She strokes the soft fabric against my neck.
ゆずりははずぶ濡れだった。
You're just trying to elicit a reaction now. The cloth tickles my throat. I murmur that I remember too.
小学校の時、急な雨に降られ、二人でずぶ濡れになって。
Aww.
ネリーの家で服を。
Nice little childhood memory to hold on to.
一緒にお風呂に入ったわよね。今じゃ絶対に一緒にお風呂に
I
入ってない。
imagine not. Didn't we just take a bath together last night? I ask her, and she says that she meant in a normal-sized bathtub.
お互い成長したものな。
Yeah, that's not gonna work too well.
そうね。私の家のお風呂では無理。昔は私の方が大きかったのにね。
Oh, you did?
そうだな。服も借りられない。
She puffs out her cheeks peevishly, informing me that she's not that much shorter. It's a mannerism of hers that only comes out when we're
そ
alone.
うだ。私は子供の頃から。
She's got it so bad. I reaffirm those feelings once again, the feelings I've concealed ever since I was a child. Nettie tilts her head at me quizzically, and I bury my face in the soft velvet so that she won't see me see it flushing even darker. Aww. It's really adorable. It really is. It's not hard to die well. The hard thing is to live well. I recall a line from the movie Rome, Open City. The glow of the sunset brings back memories of yesterday, and I brush my fingers across my neck. The ghostly sensation of her fingers through the velvet still lingers there. That's one of those kind of feelings that really sticks with you. I understand. I've definitely had moments where somebody kind of got touchy-feely with you in a way that's not intentionally or overtly sexual or anything, but it leaves like, you know, a pretty sensual sensation that lasts for a bit. That moment brought everything back, and now I feel hollow and somewhat resigned. Oh, are we here to do the deed? Because I think I know where this is going. I addressed the younger girl, the one who'd sent me the love letter. When they start like that, you know it's bad, so she's giving you a second to brace. I feel like if the result was going to be more favorable, you would start with a line like that. It kind of like feels like the, all right, you know that this isn't happening line. My words are superficial. The girl flinches before forcing an awkward smile. Yeah, even she knows. It's like, okay, that's usually not how a proper reception of one's feelings goes. Aww. Yeah, she's... Oh. You were a brave girl. You did it, though. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta take that leap. Even if you know you're jumping right into the fire, you gotta just get it out. Just say it. If you verbalized it, you understand the reality, and now you can move past it. Thank you, she says again. Oh, damn. Oh, wow. That's really powerful because she actually did. She came here and she put her heart on the line knowing that it was probably gonna get smashed against the rocks. But she came here and she did it anyway. After what's happened these past few days, I start to realize that I have to confront my own feelings and that I have to tell my truth. In her letter, she'd written that I didn't have to respond, but I'd felt compelled to. Oh. I always feel like it's kind of a low blow. It's like, I don't think you get to know that. Like, that kind of hurts. Like, I understand why you would ask, but I kind of feel like that's kind of a bad question to ask. Her eyes are imploring. It's impossible for me to remain silent under that earnest, intense gaze. Damn, you are... Oof. Oof. Unable to remain silent, I lie. For a moment, the girl looks unbelievably upset. I'm ashamed. I think she knows. She maybe just feels insulted that you couldn't just say it. Because I think everybody knows. I realize just how cruel... I realize just what a cruel thing I've done. Oh. Man, that's... It takes a while for me to become aware that I can no longer hear her receding footsteps. A cheap phrase I've heard before comes to mind. My mouth twists into a self-deprecating grin. Look at me, trying to vindicate myself after the fact. I'm still the same person I was back when I first met Neri. I'm still a coward, still a scaredy cat. I still have no confidence in myself. I thought meeting her had changed me. But as the girl, so the woman. You can't really change who you are. Right. I'll never change. No.
そうか。
I'd looked at her, standing there in the sunset glow, a timid girl with no fixed definition of herself, simply bobbing along on the tides of life. I'd seen myself in her, seen my younger self superimposed on her. But the timid Suo-kun has changed for Mayuri Kosaka's sake. She had called me to the chapel. She approached me. She spoke eloquently. She told me that she was the one who had started all the commotion around the Hookman, so that she could search for the reasons behind Mayuri's disappearance. Then...
3ヶ月ほど前、温室で頭を負傷する怪我をしました。
Yeah, we're going right back to that!
ああ、あの時は迷惑をかけた。僕が起こした事故だったというのに、高坂君にも迷惑をかけてしまった。あの時の事故は本当に事故だったのですか？
This throws such a monkey wrench into things.
この学院には聖母以外のマリアがいるのですね。真実の女神が。
The goddess of truth. She'd said, glaring up at the crucified figure of Christ on the wall. She remained silent for a while before slowly dropping her gaze back down to me. The determination in her eyes pinned me to the spot. Oh, what? Despite the firm look in her eyes, her words were pleading.
そうだ。君が推察した通りだ。この学院には神がいる。やっぱり、マユリはそのことを伝えて、彼女は私に助けを求めているんだ。
She clung to me, her expression a conflicted mix of joy and despair. She pleaded with me to tell her the truth, but I couldn't tell her everything.
知らない方がいい。
Right. Those words had been at the back of my mind then, too. There are times when a lie is kinder than the truth. But she's fundamentally different to me. With my fragile heart patched together by needle and thread, she had changed, and she had pressed me fiercely, vowing not to give up. And so I had lied to Suo-kun, just as I lied now when asked if I was in love with someone else. No, it wasn't a lie. Rather, I'd underestimated her, believing she couldn't possibly do it.
謎を解く鍵なら教えてやってもいい。
I can't tell her the truth, which is why I'd wanted to give her at least a faint glimmer of hope.
引き継ぎだよ。
It is in the succession.
そうさ。
You've got to take over my job. If you become the president of the Council of Nikaya, that'll give you the key to the door through which the door can be opened? What? When you take over the presidency, you'll find the key to the Goddess of Truth mystery and the words that have been passed down the generations. That's so much. Dude, what? Suo Shirahane is not like me. Did you like that? Did you like that voice crack there? Suo Shirahane is not like me. I'd given her an impossible task, but she'd accepted the challenge and vowed to see it through. She has a pure and earnest heart. As my words fade into the sunset, I feel like I'm regressing back to a horribly timorous, childlike version of myself. Oh, we are moving on to another chapter. There's a children's story called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Swept up in a tornado, Dorothy's house touches down in a fairy tale land of Oz. And just so happens to land on a terrifying wicked witch of the East, killing the tyrant and making Dorothy the savior of the Munchkin people. The Good Witch of the North tells Dorothy that in order to return home, she must go to the Emerald
エ
City.
メラルドの町に行かねばならぬと教えられた。父母のもとへと帰る。
Determined to find her way back to her mother and father, Dorothy sets out along the yellow brick road to the city.
その旅の途
On her
中、
way, she meets the first of her companions, the Scarecrow.
カカシだ。カカシは
The Scarecrow tears himself down from the wooden post he's fixed to and begs Dorothy to let him accompany her on her journey so that he might find himself a
旅の
brain.
同行者として共に行けないかと懇願する。熱意のこもった
He
演
pleads
説
with her passionately. For her part, Dorothy is happy to allow him to join her. I remember being incredibly impressed at how readily she welcomed her new
簡
friend.
単に仲間に迎え入れたことに私はひどく動揺したのを覚えている。カカシにとって
For the Scarecrow, her choice was life-changing. A chance meeting, a brief conversation, the whole world opened up in the space of moments.
ものの数分で開けていく感覚。これから始まるお
The
話
story
は
that begins now is that of the fool who gave little thought to which path they chose. Interesting. The Scarecrow who wanted a brain. All right. Well, I get how my dad feels. And we'll find out more about that the next time we're together, because we are going to bop right on out of here for now. So, very, very, very complicated situation. I think that the previous volumes have absolutely been complicated and have presented their own very difficult character trajectories, and I feel that Yuzuriha's is just... There are layers here that I don't even know that we will see completely peeled back by the end of this volume. So, wow. I can't even begin to imagine where this is gonna go. But that's gonna be it for now. So, of course, as always, thank you so much for stopping by. It's always nice when you lend me a moment or two of your time. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and we will catch you next time. Bye, bye.